Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Tech with Jabs. Today we have another special guest by the name of Palesa Jonas. But first, I'll just give you guys a bit of background into why I'm even interviewing Palesa. And I'm sure as we go along, she'll probably explain and give you guys more details. But one of the main reasons, as I mentioned, in fact, in my previous interviews, is we all know how the current situation, the pandemic has made it worse. Unemployment rate is super, super high, and many people have even given up and are literally discouraged. Some guys are not even applying for jobs anymore. So, what we are trying to do is to get people involved in the economy. And I think the best way to do that is to speak to people that have actually made the tough choices and tough decisions and made things work for themselves instead of just sitting back and saying, woe is me. So, anyway, without further ado, I'm going to ask Palesa to just tell us a little bit about herself as we go on further in this interview. Hi, Palesa. Who is Palesa?
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you.
I'm good. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Palesa Jonas. I am 26 years old, originally from South Africa, but I live in South Korea, currently teaching English. I have a degree in information technology, funny enough, but I'm here teaching. So, yeah, I'm excited for this conversation.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. As you had mentioned, Palesa, you've got a degree, a BSc in information technology. So why the move to teaching? Why didn't you take the route that I'd say most in your position would have taken, which is to find some internship with some company and serve your time, as it were, for a couple of months, couple of years, or whatever, and then build your way up? Why the move? Because it's a move.
When I was in university, I was already like doing part-time teaching online and part-time like cotton on, like retail,
Yeah.
and the salary wasn't nice, but I was like, okay, cool. I'm still a student.
Yes.
I'll get there. And then I graduated and internships were like, get the same salary. And I was like, what?
Couldn't understand
What
that.
was the point?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point? So
Yeah.
I was like, no, no.
Mm.
Like, so I genuinely did not work in IT, not even, I looked at the internships, probably went to two interviews,
Yeah.
and I was set. I was like, I'm going to Korea, like, I'm gone.
And you
So
left.
I applied and I
Yeah.
left.
The tech scene in South Korea. Are you interested in it, or are you like, yeah, man, that's the past. I'm not even focusing. Like, well, what's the tech environment there? Just even let's not go in
Ah,
depth in terms of the some what some of the guys the tech industries are doing. But let's just when you walk through the cities, what are you seeing in terms of
oh,
between them and South
wow.
Africa, for instance?
First of all, there's Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
high, honest, Korea has the highest speed like Wi-Fi. So
Jeez.
there's Wi-Fi on the bus, there's
Mm.
Wi-Fi on the like during everywhere. There's no
Yes.
point of buying data. I
Sure.
do not, I do
Yo,
not.
that seems like a
And
dream.
so
Mm.
yeah, that was one of the reasons why I even started the YouTube channel, because back home I'd be like, yo, I don't have data to upload. But now it was just like, hey, you can do it at a cafe, you can do it while you're walking, you can do it on a bus, you can do it anyway. Besides that, our taxis like Uber
Hmm.
system,
Yes.
but they have like the actual card where you put your actual card to pay.
Mm.
Unlike, Uber, you either have to register your card or cash. There you it's like an ATM in the car. You just put your card, it scans you out. And that for me was like boom, like wow.
Yeah.
What's another thing? There's subways,
Mm.
there's the delivery. Oh, obviously, Korea makes LG and
Hmm.
Samsung.
Yes.
So everything here is way advanced. Even things we didn't know, like here, there's actually cars with
Mm.
Samsung. And back
Yes.
home, I've never seen a Samsung car.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
you
Mm.
see things that you're like, how LG has a garage
Yeah.
and like a petrol station. You're like, I LG. So it's like you see the brand, I guess, or even Hyundai,
Mm.
you see like different types of cars that we don't have back home, and all the cars, most of them are electric, the buses are electric, so everything is very advanced. Even the phones now obviously are like 5G, so
Mm.
Tech wise, I'm like, whoa, my class, like I've got a screen that I can write on and do
Yes, yes.
colors, and it's just like crazy. And you actually have to know some sort of technology background, because in Korea we do teach with computers.
Mm.
Kids have a tablet.
But
It's more,
mm,
I guess, I'm sorry, technology related than
mm,
in South Africa, where the teacher's talking and writing on the board. It's more like, take out your tablets, look on the screen, look at the TV. Each class has a TV. So
yes.
it's very technology forward.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But then surely, while you're talking, Palesa, then surely I'm thinking to myself, surely all that information and that knowledge that you've gained through the years, is there going to come a time when you're going to be like, you know what, I'm Palesa and I'm going back, you know, to help see,
I
just
don't
see, yes.
know. I
Mm,
don't know. I feel like, I mean, generally I did like IT,
yeah.
but I didn't think it would be as lonely as it was. Like
Mm,
thinking about the concept of just me and the computer. I actually like speaking,
mm,
and teaching gives me that option. And when I in South Africa, if I want to be a teacher, I have to go do another degree.
yes.
But Korea gave me that option. Like, even if you have any degree, you
Yes.
can just come through, because you're teaching ABCs
Mm,
and months,
yes. Yeah.
nothing difficult. And then
Yeah.
obviously the salary was
Mm,
great, and the benefits that come with the job are just insane. Like,
yes.
there's no way I couldn't say no. Like,
It didn't make sense. To
it
say
didn't
no
make
wouldn't
sense.
have made
Even
sense.
now, like, people
Yeah.
still ask me, I'm gonna go back home and do IT. And like, luckily my IT is not
Hmm.
one of those careers where like I'll suffer if I
Yes.
don't work. I can always go back and,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
It's just you keeping up to speed. That's all it
yeah,
is.
I just need to
Hmm.
keep up with like the programming so I don't forget.
Yes.
But yeah, so I was gonna be on this channel one way or another, as a teacher or as a tech, whatever.
Yeah. Sure. Interesting stuff. Yeah. So take us through the journey though. I mean, because you've obviously been there a while, but it can't have been easy. It must have been a transition. I mean, I'm thinking about it, like the first, all you've known is South Africa, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you get to another place altogether. Just take us through that whole journey.
So I think I was okay when I was applying. I was
Hmm.
like excited about the idea or the concept of going abroad.
Yeah.
But like, I think literally day before, when I was like now packing, zipping up, I'm ready, like, okay, I'm going to Korea tomorrow. I was like, what am I doing? What are you doing?
Mm.
Like, I genuinely had this whoa, like shock,
Mm.
but I did it. And so you go through a lot, because the whole process itself is
Mm.
long. So you apply, maybe if I apply in February, I'll only come to Korea in August. So I guess you mentally prepare yourself for all these months,
Mm.
and they give you an orientation. So when I came, you have 2 weeks orientation where you meet other teachers so they hire from 7 countries, which is USA, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, UK, and South Africa. So South Africa is the only African country that they're hiring from. So it's only opening up now. Mostly it was just other countries, but South Africans are starting to know about the job.
Mm.
And yeah, it's it's crazy, because you land, you get this 2 weeks orientation, you come, they show you your place, you get a fully furnished house, which is like the one I'm in.
Oh,
They
great.
show you your
Mm.
place. Great, because it's fully furnished, so that's a
Genius.
huge plus.
Head start, huh?
And then the next day you start working.
Is
And
it?
some people don't even have teaching experience, so it's crazy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, and you've gotten used to the area though, like the people. I mean, obviously, right now it's like a global champion with all these different groups and people that you're speaking to. You might as well be in the United
Yeah,
Nations type of vibe. But
yeah.
so the people that you hang out with, is it mostly the people that you started with, or is it because what I want to do, right? The reason I'm asking you these questions is I want to make sure that when some of the guys are thinking about making or taking this move, making this decision, They're just
Mhm.
well acquainted or well aware of what they're getting themselves into. So with you,
Mm.
currently, the people that your friends or colleagues or whatever you want to call them, are they the people that you started with? Have you made other friends that side as well? People that you normally communicate with, or is it still, or is the majority of your people, your peeps, on the essay side? Like, just take us through that whole,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Generally, I think it is easier to make friends, probably because of that orientation year, 2 weeks, they group you, like you'll probably have a roommate
yeah,
and so forth. But like when you first come, we all close, like, oh, let's go to a museum, like trying to see the place. And then we all settle, like, I'm on my third year now, like
mm,
eventually some people come for 1 year.
mm,
So 1 year is minimum
yeah,
if you come with the program. So every year you have to renew your contract. So for now, most of the people I came with are gone.
is
People
it?
don't stay as long as I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but I made good friends. You make like one of my good friends is from Canada.
mm,
Um, you make friends with people you never thought. You know, I can now say like, oh, I'm going to Canada to go see a friend, or it's crazy. It's crazy, but I would say generally South Africans will hang out together. People from the UK will hang out together, and then there's like a few exceptions
yeah,
where there'll be that one person. Like my Canadian friend is the only Canadian, and then among South Africans, so there'll be that one. Maybe the area you're in, because I'm on the island,
oh,
and
okay,
the island is pretty small.
mm,
So I came with her, so I knew her from we came together, and then people started leaving, and then she's the only person I know. A few months after I came, my boyfriend from South Africa came,
mm.
so I think I hang out with him more than
And then all
more
the
than other
other, so
people. Yeah.
oh, cool, cool, cool. That's awesome. So now, how do you start? Like, okay, I'm gonna break it down into different groups. So how
Okay.
do I start as a person with a degree? Um,
Mhm.
I've graduated, but my degree is not teaching related. So I don't have your PG, whatever's,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I literally just studied another field. Let's not even say it's IT. I studied like agriculture or something.
yeah.
And now I want to make the move and start. How do I start?
Okay, so if you have a degree,
Yeah,
like you mentioned, if you have a degree in education or a degree and you majored in language
mm,
like English,
yeah,
you just so that's a different exception. You kind of like a teacher, so
yeah,
you don't need to do this other extra step.
yeah.
So let me quickly go back. If you have another degree in general, like I did IT, you
Mhm.
have to do a TESOL certificate.
Yes.
So this is like it gives you a basic understanding of what a teacher is supposed to do.
Mm,
Not in depth like an actual teacher, just
mm,
how to manage a class, how to discipline kids, those type of things. So it
mm.
has to be more than 120 hours. And a lot of companies offer this TESOL or TEFL certificate. You've probably heard of it.
Yes.
And some prices are crazy. So personally, I did mine for like 8,000 Rand
What?
because I didn't know, like there wasn't anyone on YouTube about like a South African who was in Korea, and that's why I started the channel. So now
Yes.
I tell people like, yay, you can do it for 300 Rand. Like,
Oh,
so
better.
yeah, no, I had it bad.
Mm,
Um, but I still got here. So there are scammers. You need to be careful.
yes.
But essentially, if you have a degree, you
Mhm.
have to do the TESOL certificate because they will not hire you without it.
Yes.
It's quick. I want to say I did mine for 1 month while I was even working in
Yeah.
South Africa. So it doesn't require you to be full-time student.
Yes.
So I did that, and then there's a website. So there's two ways you can come to Korea. Either you're coming with a Hagwon, which is like a private institution. So basically after school, they come
Mm.
to your school,
Okay.
or a public school,
Yes.
which you teach them during the day.
Okay.
So you choose which one you want to apply for. I'm in a public school. I'll always vouch for public school because private schools, it's more like, like tutoring groups, private tutoring groups.
Yes.
And now that coronavirus happened, we are employed by the government, so we were safe. but people in the private sections, they were telling them, well, there's no students, like your
Yeah.
salary is cut, or some even had to go back home. So I wouldn't recommend a private institution. I would definitely say go to the government way, because if you're hired by the government, everything is kind of like legit. You're
Cool.
safe.
Yeah, makes sense.
So there's an
Public sector.
EPIC program called EPIK, English Program in Korea. You'd have to go on that, download the application form. Then there's a list of documents that you need to do. Yeah.
And on the total opposite spectrum, no degree, no nothing, Palesa, nothing. Just a
What
human
about
being,
diploma?
just a human being, just a human, who has a dream.
just,
I have a dream.
just a dream.
I will get to South Korea. What do I do?
Okay, if you don't have a degree and you have a diploma,
Hmm.
you can still come to Korea.
Yes.
It's a different program than the one I'm on, but you will get paid, I guess they get paid 20,000 Rand,
Mhm.
which is still a lot in compared to South Africa. But if you have a degree, our starting salary with no experience is 32,000, and it's not taxed.
That is
So your
decent.
salary is as is, it's not taxed. And if you don't have a degree, unfortunately, South Korea does not hire people without a degree or diploma. But you can go to other countries, and I speak about that in my channel. You can go to Thailand, you can go to Myanmar, you can go to China, you can go to what's the other one? Costa Rica. There's quite a few countries, but South Korea, if you don't have a degree, unfortunately.
Okay, so degree, you have a chance. With a diploma, you have a
Yeah.
chance, but not in South Korea. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then with
No, diploma, you also have a chance in South Korea.
diploma, you also have a chance in South Korea. And
Yeah.
then, but with the diploma, would I also need a TESOL certificate? I just want to.
So also something I forgot to say with the diploma program, if you have if you are studying towards a degree, 2 years in, you finish 2 years, and then somehow, things happen, either
Like,
financial issues or whatever, you can also come and apply for the talk program, except you'll tell them that they'll give you 2 years though. So on this diploma program, it's essentially a scholarship. So they encourage you to go back and finish your degree. So you can come if you've completed 2 years of your degree.
yes.
And this helps people because you can come, like I know one person who came, saved money, was able to complete the financial part of the degree, then go back to South Africa, but Sagas Badale, like now they done. So yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and then Palesa, if you have nothing, no diploma,
Nothing.
nothing, yes. Options, chances, are there any?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can speak English,
Yes.
options are endless.
Yeah.
In Asia, because they all want to learn English. And if
Yeah.
you can speak English, yes, you can definitely either teach online, you can still teach online comfortably in South Africa,
Yes.
or you can teach, like I said, in China, in Myanmar, not in South Korea. South Korea is very
Strict about having some
they
sort of
yeah
qualification in terms of.
yeah they want to know, like, are you, did you actually go to school? How are you going to
Yeah.
teach the student?
Yeah.
But other countries like Costa Rica, Thailand, Thailand has a minimum of 12,000 Rand, which is way more than, I think what people without degrees in South Africa are making,
Definitely.
like in
Definitely.
retail. So 12,000, and you get to experience like traveling. Well, this is post-corona. Pre-corona, I don't know. Traveling is not a thing anymore. So, but I think just for the experience, it's
Okay, cool.
you'll still be fine.
Sounds interesting. So, okay, so I guess I wanted to be as practical as possible. So, with the degree, you're sorted. Pretty much starting at about 32, starting at about 32K, right? Diploma. We didn't talk starting salary, but you have a chance to push basically. And if you've
diploma, sorry. Diploma is 20,000.
Okay, diploma is 20,000. No, you did mention that actually. Diploma is 20,000. And with nothing, we're talking roughly about 12,000.
12 minimum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
12 minimum. Yeah, which is it's not a bad start. You know what I mean?
not
It's
bad.
not bad. Yeah, exactly. And
Not
considering the
bad.
fact that you've mentioned your accommodation is paid for you, and also just to bear in mind, it is a start. So it's not like we're
It
saying,
is a
and
start.
yes. And what are the differences though, Palesa, between the online teaching part of it versus you actually being physically there? Why didn't you do online?
So I enjoyed online. Like online is great, but at some point you start almost like if I were to talk to you every day, at some point I'd want to meet you, that
Yes,
type of thing. So
yeah.
online you just like, oh, I wish I could like meet these
It's
people.
distance, yes.
And
Mm.
in South Africa, online was more like I'm still okay. I was getting paid okay. Like I want to say I was making 11,000, 10,000
Mm.
rand.
Mm.
Wasn't bad,
Yeah.
but I wasn't getting any experience outside of that. So like when classes stop,
Mm.
then I'm back in South Africa.
Yeah.
But this one is like offering me 3 times my salary, pre-tax. You can travel, you have medical aid, you pay for your flights, your house is fully furnished. Like it's like a dream. But it is, you cannot have more than, so our visa, you have to choose. You
Yeah.
cannot work in class and teach online because it would make
Oh,
money, would
okay. Because I
probably
was
make like
wondering where that balance. Because I was thinking to myself personally, Palesa, I was thinking to myself, yeah, the only talks I'll be having is via YouTube, but otherwise I'd still be pushing like.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, people do it, but it's a risk.
Yes.
It's a risk if they catch you by the government, by law. You're
Not
not
worth it.
supposed to have more than one job. It's not worth it. So
Yeah.
imagine I get kicked off and then now I have to
Ah,
go earn
no.
10K,
Mm.
and I can never come back. So
Yeah.
it's not worth it. I guess the other side jobs that they're not allowed, but like cash transactions,
Yes, yes.
that probably teachers like your colleagues will ask you,
Mm.
can you teach me English, and then I'll buy you coffee, those type of things.
Oh, I see.
Or I'll give you, so you can do those ones, they can't really track. But
Oh,
I
I
guess
see.
online, because you're getting paid and all of that, they can see the money
Yeah.
coming in. Mhm.
And I mean, I can imagine, like you're teaching in the morning in a public school, and then you're like, aren't you the same, ma'am? Weren't you teaching the same class
Yeah.
in the morning? Yeah, no,
Like, oh, didn't I see you? Yeah, that would be funny. That would actually be funny. But I've noticed that most online students are actually from China.
oh,
In Korea, Korea believes in in-class
mm,
students. I mean sessions. So even after school, they go, like I said, private institution. They go to another school.
mm,
They don't really have online sessions, and that's why Corona actually messed up our system in Korea because they don't have any online sort of classes.
yeah,
So when Corona happened and we had to start online teaching, it was new for everyone, new for the teachers, new. Whereas in China, the teachers in China immediately they switched online, and because they have so many companies
mm,
um, that have this system, so already they just changed it, probably sold it to the government, changed a few things. I've always been like, Zoom is probably making so much money during COVID, like. So
mm,
hey, I think Korea is as advanced as it is in technology. They never believed in teaching online, so
mm.
it was a huge and a new concept for them.
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, this pandemic has messed everyone up.
Everything changed.
Sure. And how are the restrictions outside?
Funny enough, we never had any.
Mm.
Like no lockdown. We've never been on lockdown.
Good.
Um,
Mm.
Corona actually started here because we're very close to China. So
Yeah.
once China got it, I was like waiting. My mom was calling me like, yo, you must come back home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. But now she calls me. She's like, don't come back
Stay
home.
there. That's what I was thinking. Just
Now
you
she's like, nah,
you just stay there.
stay there. Don't
Yeah.
come back. So when Corona started, it was kind of scary. And that time it was 3 cases, but it was like, oh my gosh, it's here. Just knowing the fact that it's here.
Mm.
Uh, but now I guess everything is the thing I would say compared to South Africa,
Yeah.
Koreans are very disciplined.
Mm.
Everywhere you go, even when we don't have cases, like we can go for 2 months without cases, and then
Yeah.
some like this in my area,
Mm.
and then everyone wears a mask like everywhere. You cannot go on a bus without it. You cannot leave your house without it. So I see South Africans and I'm like, where are your masks, guys? It's so simple. You're just wearing a mask. You can still do whatever. So we never had restrictions. I've never been told not to do anything. Oh no, the one where it was high,
Mhm.
we didn't allow more than 3 people to sit together in a restaurant. So if you're
Yeah.
walking in a group, then three, like they'll split you guys. That's the only restriction I was under.
So you've been pretty much. I'm actually amazed. So you've been pretty much
Ah,
just doing your own thing, right? Lessons on
yeah, like
the kids.
even
Yeah.
your alcohol struggles, I'm like, oh, can't relate.
Everyone
Like
is.
they've never.
Everything is literally the same. Well, restaurants obviously, but
Yeah.
that's not a huge difference. But yeah, she's. So I guess then when we speak of some of our woes, such as load shedding and all those
Yeah,
good things,
I cannot.
you
I
cannot
cannot
relate.
relate. I cannot.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I mean, it's funny because I'm always wondering or asking myself if I was in South Africa, would I be wearing a mask? Because
Hmm.
sometimes you're just influenced by
What's happening
like I
around you?
know, yeah, if I leave, I'm gonna be the only person without the mask. But in South Africa, probably I wouldn't. So
Hmm.
would I be like you question yourself about the environment really changes you.
Yes, yes. Nowadays it's law
Yeah.
though. I don't know when the last conversation you had with your mother, but nowadays it's that they have the rights to literally put you away. So we've become.
Oh.
So I'd say people have become more accustomed to wearing
And
that.
how are the cases? How low or how high?
They've been rising. I mean, I won't give you the exact numbers, but the second wave was really sure it was really hectic.
Is
Yeah, literally caused
yeah.
us. Yeah, I'd say it made us even more cautious and aware of how fast this thing can spread.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and it's been terrible. But I think in as much as it's been terrible, what I'd love to see, even when I have conversations with you, is that the pandemic has been terrible. Like people have lost their lives, but let's try also make sure that livelihoods, are at least we have some people have a measure of that they can feed their families and economic
Mm-hmm.
and I guess that's what we're trying to balance off to say that it won't last forever. This whole pandemic,
Yeah.
there will come a stage where everything just fades away. But let's try to make sure that people are not struggling, and
Yeah. Yeah.
because I mean, the situation. So yeah, so that's really that's the main focus, I'd say. I mean, if we're blessed enough to still be able to breathe and not have any roros around, so let's at least do our small part, to yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what we're trying to do.